gold. Always, always accumulate 1 gram, 2.5, 5 gram denominations. If you have an abundance of wealth or an extra amounts of cash flow, get as much of that gold as you can, because it's constantly going to be saving and preserving your wealth. It's going to be helping you build your own economy. But most importantly, you're building a safe store of value, and you're creating that legacy generational heritage income. Then we have cash gold. Cash gold is awesome because, as you all know, that's how we make transactions and purchases within our ecosystem, whether it's on packages, products, etc., or you're using it within the ecosystem itself, or you're going to be using it for the V99 platform. So you should be accumulating cash gold daily, weekly, biweekly, hourly, monthly, as much as you can get. So basically, in a nutshell, keep stacking, keep stacking, keep stacking, keep stacking. If you think you got enough gold, you don't. If you think you got enough cash gold, you don't. Just keep saving as much as you can while you can, because we all know, we've been watching the price increase. It's going to become more and more expensive. So now, while the gold is down a little bit, accumulate, 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 exchange, 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 exchange. So with that being said, to everyone on this call, if you're not saving gold systematically, start saving gold systematically. I absolutely challenge each and every single one of you to save gold. And if I can do it from starting in a tent, so can you. And you'll see where it all started within a tent. And I've been saving gold every week since the day I started. No one has an excuse. We all need to save gold, period. Back over to you, Alf.
Awesome. And you guys, I encourage you guys to, a lot of time and effort went in when Brian created this video, guys. It kind of tells his story right from the beginning, and the success for all of us and what we can achieve. And I think that's the biggest message, right? It gives us an idea of what each and every one of us can achieve by just starting in with the small denominations. I mean, you heard it from Brian, and just one example of getting small denominations since he was broken, as he calls it, broken a joke, didn't have a penny to his name, and was still able to systematically do that with his company. That's just unbelievable. So I encourage you guys to take a look at that message and apply it to yourselves, and that will give you
the notes you need to make to go and do your own study on one or two of these points right now. And the more you do this, the more you will realize how Karatbars fits in to the model. It's quite astonishing. The first thing I picked up last week now, and I put back to a while back, the Fed Now concept has been around for some years. Okay, so it's Federal Reserve. It's a brand, Fed Now. Google it. And it's been around for some years, but just this week, the Senate has passed through that they are going to be able to shift how the Fed operates in terms of circulation of fiat currency. Okay? You need to understand what's behind it. What does it represent? How are they aiming to maintain control through what are called central bank digital currencies? And it's not just in America. It's not just in the United States of America. Bank of England are doing it as well. Central banks of Europe are doing it as well. Central Japan, Central China, they're all doing it. Now, there's nothing wrong with it, and it's on the face of it. But when you start to study exactly how they're going to try and nurture control and maintain the fact of how people spend, you realize there's only one inevitable outcome. The other one I noticed this week, and I think it might have been Tony actually on Facebook, the IMF, of all institutions, launching blockchain education. Go figure. So when I start to see organizations such as JP Morgan, okay, with what that company has represented against blockchain for most of the last decade, when I start to see them taking stakes inside organizations such as Consensus, CONSENSYS, Consensus being one of the largest Ethereum DApp developers on the planet. And when we start to see JP Morgan take it seriously that they are going to take on the SWIFT payment network, what do you think I start to think? And do you think I start to connect the dots with regards to exactly what we're doing with B999? You better believe it. Consensus, have a look at what they do. Excellent organization.
All of you now, to write this down in your book. Just write these words down. It will make sense as we go through this journey over the next 2 months, 3 months. Just write this down, guys, and someone can type it into the block, into the chat box for me. Decentralized blockchain in a centralized community. To you guys, and my time is limited as well. But Bitcoin, all of us knows Bitcoin. Bitcoin is a decentralized blockchain in a decentralized community. Can someone type that? And if you guys, if you remember this lesson, then you will understand how powerful this community is that we've created here in Karabas. Now, in Bitcoin, decentralized blockchain, no one can control it. You are the only one that's controlling your money, but it's in a decentralized community. So if you lose your password, if you lose your phrases, if you lose your 2FAs, if you lose whatever you have got to retrieve your money, guess what? Those Bitcoins are gone. They're currently talking about 4 million Bitcoins currently in the industry that has already been lost. It's there. We can see it on a blockchain, but those people do not have access to those wallets. Those coins can never be used. So it's there. It's part of the distributed Bitcoins in the industry, but it can never be used, and no one can get those. No one can get into those wallets because it's in a decentralized community. There's no help center. There's no call center. There's no 911 call number that you can phone. Now, what Karabas has done everything that blockchain has done, decentralized blockchain, but in a centralized community where if something goes wrong, guys, you've lost admin control, you've lost your 2FA, you've lost your password, you lost something, at least there is a control center, a support center, a centralized community, an admin person that can get you assistance. And our V999 and our mainnet KBC that's going to go over onto the hard fork, onto our own blockchain after the 15th of October, is that we're coming to age. We're coming to the market with a product, with a crypto that is backed by gold, V999. We're coming to the market with a coin out there that you cannot be eaten up by inflation. Like all the other stable coins there, Tether, DAI, all of them are backed against the dollar. Now, what happens to those coins' value, buying power, when hyperinflation hits them? They are all going to start running away to the next stable coins in the industry. And there are only 3 stable coins in the industry that is backed by gold, V999 being one of them. But V999 being the most transparent, being audited every month, having to know who are the community, having the community, having the ecosystem behind it. And that is going to put us at top of the field on those stable coins that's backed by gold, that we will have no competition in the industry. So that, and Sean, you were spot on when you were saying about JP Morgan. Guys, write that name down, JP Morgan. JP Morgan, I still remember 3 years ago when JP Morgan, the CEO, came out and said Bitcoin is a scam. He went out in social media, said Bitcoin is a scam, and he will fire all these traders that are dealing with Bitcoins. And then a few weeks later, remember that name, because ever since then, JP Morgan now, like Sean has now articulated here, has been buying in to the crypto world this past few months. So make a note of that name. That name is going to become a very, very important name for us in the future. JP Morgan, guys, I've already said it 3 times. So if I said it 3 times, it means there is value in that name.